Hi guys, welcome to Vlogmas Day blank, whatever it is. I honestly don't know because I think I posted about doing this Q&A 2 days ago, so probably Vlogmas Day 17, and I am just now filming it on the 19th, so I'm behind, but I wanted to go ahead and get this filmed, and I figured doing a Q&A would be a good replacement video because I think I haven't done one this entire semester, like literally since summer. And yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and chat with you guys. If you guys are new here, welcome. I am so happy you're here. My name's Asselin and I make college and lifestyle videos. I'm doing Vlogmas obviously, and I've been trying to put a lot of effort into having good vlogs and good Vlogmas content for you guys. This Q&A is gonna be a little bit of giving advice to you guys and also just answering questions you have for me. It's gonna be a little bit of both. And I'm just gonna keep it as real and honest as I possibly can, which is pretty freaking candid, so let's just go ahead and get started. I'm also just going to be getting ready for absolutely nothing. I'm going to see some of my high school friends that I haven't seen in a long time tonight, but we're just hanging out. But I didn't want to just sit here and talk. I wanted to be doing something while I was filming this, so I figured getting ready would be good. And I have some new makeup products to try out, which is exciting. If you hear this little one playing with her toy, I'm sorry. It's the only way to keep her from like trying to attack my hands, but I just got my hair done today, if you guys couldn't tell. It's just like a little bit of highlight balayage blonde action, and I'm freaking obsessed with it. It looks really different in this lighting, to be honest, but it looks really good. I'm gonna post a pic of my hair later. I had you guys ask me questions on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, you should, so you can participate. You guys asked a ton of questions and a ton of really good questions. So yeah, I think that you guys will enjoy this. I will have all the products I use linked down below, but I'm starting off with the Benefit Professional Primer. First question is, what is your schedule like in the spring as far as classes and work and all of that goes? So I'm taking 12 hours. I have an 8 a.m., which is my corporate tax class, on Tuesday, Thursday. I will be working in like my office hours from 9:30 to 11 Tuesday, Thursday, and then 11 to 12:15 is my TA class, which I don't have to go to, but I probably will go sometimes. And then Monday, Wednesday, I have 2 to 3:15 and 3:30 to 4:45, and that's just a finance class, and then my strategic management class. And then I have I'm doing a reading to kids class for the last of my honors elective credits, where we just go to an elementary school and read to kids, which I think is going to be so much fun, and just really feel good to do. And that is on Tuesday afternoons, I believe, and then I have the class for that, which I don't really know what we do in that on Tuesdays as well. I'm using these Becca Glow Silk highlighter drops. So I am still working as a TA, still will be doing YouTube, still will be doing my podcast. So it'll be busy, but it shouldn't be terrible because I'm not going to be applying for jobs or anything, so that part won't be as stressful. But yeah, I love this product. I talked about it in my favorites that I uploaded during Vlogmas, and it's just so incredible. It makes me look crazy for a second because I get really orange and stuff, but it makes you so glowy, next level glowy. And I did self-tan last night, but I don't put it on my face, so this will be interesting. I'm trying out the Anastasia Luminous Foundation, and this is going to be way too light for my skin right now since I self-tanned, but it's okay. I will bronze it up and we'll make it match. And I've just wanted to try this for a while, and I finally just got it the other day, so I'm excited to try it for the first time. When you were in high school, what career did you think you were going into? So I really wanted to do journalism at NYU, but I applied to NYU under psychology for some reason, I think, and I got in, but I knew I wouldn't end up doing that. And then I kind of thought psychology for a little bit. I thought journalism, and my dad was like, it's gonna be hard for you to get a job, and I was like, yeah, it sounds kind of stressful. And then I thought for a while, I thought something in the medical field, like physical therapist or something like that, because I took AP Bio and we had a pre-med program in high school that was up and coming and just starting whenever I was in high school, but I really did not enjoy it. I shadowed at a hospital for one day and absolutely hated it and didn't go back. So that's that. Ooh, this is pretty. It's actually not too light. Next question is, do you ever worry about money, and how did you change that? So the answer to that is yes, for sure. I worked, I've been working since before I even turned 15, honestly. And I always just had to spend my own money if I ever wanted to do anything, or if I ever did anything during the school year. I just kind of had to save my summer money and try and make it last. But I think the most stressed I ever got about money was my freshman year of college. because I had like, I think $1,500 saved up maybe just from work, and then like a $500 scholarship I got from my high school. And it was just so stressful because that went so fast in the fall because A, I didn't really know how to spend my money well, and B, I had to buy my textbooks, which was like $500. I had to like budget out my dining dollars, which is what we pay for at like the beginning of the semester, that gives us like free money to, not free money, that gives us credit to a bunch of different like on campus like restaurants and stuff. And I hated dining hall food, but I had to basically budget that out, and I could only spend like $19.30 a week or something for it to last the entire year or the entire semester. And I'm so thankful that like my mom like did what she could to like help me out, like as far as like money goes. Like she totally did not have to, but she would give me like $50 every 2 weeks, and that's just kind of what I lived off of once I like ran out of money. And it was really hard, and it was really stressful because like I just remember like every single day just being stressed about money. And what I did to change it, I started selling like my clothes on Poshmark that I didn't wear anymore, and that really helped because that helped me like just have like an extra $10 to $20 every week. And then I started my YouTube channel and honestly started making money kind of soon after that. So I just kind of got sick of being broke and tried to do something about it, as in find other ways I could make money by selling clothes on Poshmark. I got a bajillion and one questions about my boyfriend and I's living situation, which I've explained it like 60 times, I feel like, in comments and in videos, but I get that there's like new people from time to time and they don't know. My boyfriend and I live together in a house at school. We chose to be in a house because we were just over the whole apartment scene and like having to deal with really loud people all the time. It just like makes studying hard. And we were just over that, and we thought a house would be good too for Ella to have a yard. And my roommate was transferring schools, and I didn't know if she was going to end up staying at Alabama or not until like July of this past summer. So I didn't re-sign my lease with her because I didn't want to end up getting stuck with 2 random roommates, which is why my boyfriend and I like ended up looking at places together, and we just felt ready to like try moving in together. I would say majority of my questions were about us like living together and not understanding why we have separate bedrooms. There isn't a reason besides like I had furniture I didn't want to just like get rid of. And I think like if you are in college and you're like gonna move in with your significant other, having like separate bedrooms where you both can go and get your own space if you need it is so helpful for making the adjustment, because it's not easy. Like it's literally not easy to just like jump into living with your significant other. And like it's so nice because like if like of course we're gonna spend most of our time together, but if there ever is a time where we need space, we can just go to another room and be fine, instead of literally only having a living room and like a bedroom. Like that would be hard, which like obviously that's what makes sense whenever you're like married and whenever you've been together for forever and you know and you're used to living with each other. But for us, we weren't used to it, and it just like made the most sense, and it was just what we wanted. And I kind of wanted like space for my clothes and my YouTube stuff, so it just worked out that way. So there's that explanation again. And I had people asking if like he's a neat freak or if I'm a neat freak, and if so, like how do we compromise? I'm definitely a neat freak, but like I get messy. Oh, I just used the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, by the way, and now I'm using the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil powder just to like bake in little areas, but like very lightly. Griffin is not dirty, but he is messy, and I'm the same way. I like usually I'm not messy, but I can get very messy. Like if I have a busy week, like I just have to put cleaning on the back burner, and like my stuff will be everywhere. And how we compromise, like sometimes I just like realize that the place is a mess, and it like makes me have a like mental breakdown, and I'm like, we must clean everything right now. And like it's just like having to like asking each other to do things when we can, and like just trying to pick up after ourselves as we make messes instead of just like leaving them be is like the best way to go about handling that. Is having an end goal important to having success? Yes, because if you don't have an end goal, you literally will not have like a motive, and you won't have something to work towards at the end of the day. But it's very important to not get too caught up on the end goal where you forget about the process. One of the most important parts of reaching goals is like the steps it takes to get there, and you have to be able to enjoy the process and be patient with the process, and you can't let the end goal be the only thing in mind. You have to trust the process, enjoy the process, and be able to learn from the mistakes you make along the way. Do you think moving in with Griffin after 1 to 2 years of your relationship was too soon? Honestly, no. It was like a year and 10 months for us, I want to say, when we moved in. And I just don't think it was too soon, because I don't think of it as a mistake at all right now. So like I don't think it was too soon at all. Like, I feel like we are way more mature than we first were when we were dating, like, together as a couple and individually. And we both have our own independent lives established at this point. I feel like it would have been really dangerous if we did it the year before, because I think we both wouldn't have really had our separate lives established, because I was honestly very dependent on him for my happiness and just my well-being and like what I did. Just so codependent, and that's just kind of something that happens to me whenever I develop really strong feelings for, like, I guess for my significant other. I always get super duper like attached, even though I'm a very independent person. I start like just having my world like revolve around them and doing everything I possibly can to make them happy, and then like a year and a half later I'm like, wait, where did I go? And I have to like find myself again, and I struggle with that this summer. But I am so happy right now. And that was another question, are you happy? I'm so happy right now. I'm just stressed about the post-grad life and everything, and like the whole graduate school situation, so I'm happy though. I think things are going really well. I just used the Clinique Uplighting Illuminating Powder all over my face. I'm not doing my brows. I am just putting on Glossier Boy Brow because my brows are like actually pretty even for once right now. I'm sure a lot of you guys watch my videos and are like, dude, what is wrong with her brows? And I ask myself the same thing every freaking day. But they're actually low-key even right now, so I'm going to enjoy this moment of them being even and just let them be even. This next question is, what made you choose a master's in tax over the general master's of accountancy? So I have 150 hours already, and that's how many you need to take the CPA exam for like to be an accountant. And I personally like do not need to go to grad school for that reason, since I already have the 150 hours. Pretty much the MAC, like the Master's of Accountancy degree, exists to give people those 150 hours so that they can take the CPA. And some of the programs are kind of like tailored to taking the CPA, but Alabama's is not. Honestly, from my perspective, it would be a waste of time and money to just get my general MAC degree since I already have 150 hours. And when I was talking to professionals at my office visit in May, they were saying if your school has like a specialized tax program, definitely do it, because generally that is more helpful. So that's why I chose tax. But like, honestly, I could have done any master's program I wanted to, but I don't even know if I'm going for sure, not yet. I have already applied and everything, and I've taken the GMAT, but I still have to wait and see like if I get any kind of scholarship, because that's kind of like what I'm waiting on. So if I get a scholarship, my plan is to go. And if I don't get a scholarship, then I'm just like not going to start working. I'm just not going to go to grad school if I don't get a scholarship, and I won't start working until like January or February probably if I get a job, and then take the CPA in between when I graduate and starting working, if that makes sense. But I pretty much just didn't do the general Master's of Accountancy because I thought it would be a waste of my time since I already have the 150 hours. I'm using the Flower Child shade just all over my lid and crease from the Tarte palette, Tartlet in Bloom palette. Got this the other day for 50% off. It was 20 bucks, and I desperately needed a new eyeshadow that was not expired, so love that for me. I just realized I forgot to cover up a blemish, so I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, sorry if the lighting or something is different. I just ran out of space on my memory card. Do you think joining a sorority would have made your college experience better or worse? So I've said it before, but to anyone who hasn't heard me say it, joining a sorority was just straight up not in the cards for me. Just literally was not affordable at all, especially at freaking Alabama. I'm just taking the shades Sweetheart and Firecracker, and I'm gonna like kind of just does this throughout my outer V. But yeah, it just like was not even possible for me to even consider. So it's hard to like imagine what it would be like if I would have rushed. I think initially my freshman year, I wouldn't have had near as hard of a time, but it would have been like almost just a very temporary feeling, I feel like, because I know I would have met way more people and I would have met more friends quicker, but it's, who knows if they would have been like good, true friends right away, because I know a lot of people just cling to the first group of people they meet in high school or in college, especially when they are rushing, and then they end up like not actually being that good of friends because it just like isn't an actual good match friendship wise, and they just have to like find other friends later on. I think it would have made it better in the sense of my freshman year I wouldn't have felt so alone and maybe not would have wanted to transfer. But I straight up like can't imagine myself being in any of them. Like I just, especially because when I talk about this with my friends and my family, or I have before, and if I would have rushed my freshman year, I wouldn't have even belonged in the same sorority this year, because I am, or even sophomore and junior year, I am so much different of a person than I was in my freshman year. I had a lot of change my freshman year. Like, my high school boyfriend and I broke up. It was obviously going to college. I started my YouTube channel, so I just like went through a whole lot of change really fast, and I'm just not the same person anymore. How much work is a podcast, and is it more work than you expected? Yeah, it's actually a lot of work. I spend a lot of time planning my podcast. I know some people probably don't put that much work into like planning their podcast, but I personally have to. Like, I can't stand the idea of like having a podcast go up that's just me talking and not really having any guidance or structure. And that's just me personally. So it's a lot of work planning them, and sometimes it's honestly been a little bit of a struggle recently because I'm like trying to make sure all my content's really different and diverse and not just saturating the oversaturated market of podcasts with the same kind of stuff. So I'm trying really hard to like diversify myself, but it's also just like a lot of work having to plan episodes because it can take me anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, and then recording it's an hour long. And then if I, you know, have to take breaks to like drink water or let my dog outside or tell her to stop barking or anything like that, I have to edit it. It's the best thing ever when I don't have to edit a podcast episode because I didn't stop at all. But it is a lot more work than I thought it was, so never underestimate the amount of work that goes into podcasts, because take it from me, I didn't think it was a lot of work, and here I am like, holy cow, this is a lot. My camera battery died, and my spare that I bought last week isn't working. So that's great, but I just went ahead and finished up my eyeshadow, did my mascara and my eyeliner. I used the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Liner, and then I used a combo of these two mascaras. Let me find them. L'Oreal Telescopic, and then the Thrive Causemetics Lash Extensions, which I can't find. I had a lot of questions about just like being single, how to like deal with that, and just kind of like go through that season. I was single for like a month between a long-term relationship and then mine and Griffin's relationship. So I didn't have a long time of being single, so I really feel like I haven't been single since I was early senior year of high school. But I just wanted to say that, you know, everyone is on their own time for relationships. You know, just because people around you are in relationships doesn't mean that like your time is never gonna come. And I just wanted to emphasize the importance of like using your season of singleness to grow as an independent person and really just like find your interests, find yourself, spend as much time as you can investing into yourself, because it's a time to be selfish. Like, I think that if you spend time working on yourself and just finding your interests and like really just trying to like be the best person you can be while you're single, it will attract the right person if you are working on yourself and doing all that you can to better yourself and be the best version of yourself. Because I think it makes you more confident whenever you find what you're really passionate about, and like whenever you devote a lot of time to yourself, I think it makes you a lot more confident overall, which is it is attractive. But I was just talking about this with the lady who does my hair today. People who are trying to rush into things, who are like comparing themselves to the people around them that are like, oh, I'm not in a relationship or whatever. Anyone who just like gets into things just to like be able to say that they're in a relationship, it never ends well, because you're getting into a relationship because you're wanting to be like the people around you, and you're just settling for the first thing that comes your way. And most of the time, the first thing that comes your way isn't what's made for you. And I think everything happens for a reason, and I honestly believe that the best things come when you aren't looking for them. Whenever I met Griffin, the last thing I wanted on this planet was a relationship. Like, I was like, I want to be single for 10 years and I want to like go to New York and just like live my life there. Like, I'm so over this, and I just like really did not want a relationship, and I was not looking for one, but that just like wasn't in the plans for me. Like, something completely different happened, and I'm so happy now. I just think that whenever you're looking too hard and you're just like focusing so much of your time and energy on trying to find someone when you could be spending that time and energy like focusing on yourself, it just does yourself a disservice in a way, because you could be spending that time devoting to yourself and becoming better for yourself to be the most whole and independent person you can be whenever you do get into a relationship. Because otherwise you're just gonna end up going for the first thing that comes your way, and it's totally okay if like it takes you longer to, you know, kiss a boy or kiss a girl or, you know, be in a relationship than the people around you, because everyone's life has different paths, you know, it's okay. I just used the Physicians Formula butter bronzer all over my face, and I'm about to just do a little bit of contour with it with a smaller brush. Quitting 9 to 5 seemed to be the trend with YouTubers this year. Thoughts? So I got this question, and I got a lot of like, Do you ever see yourself doing YouTube full-time, blah, blah, blah. I've talked about this on my podcast before, which my podcast is linked down below. I realized I talked about it a few times, but haven't really said that I have one. Here's my opinion on everyone doing it. The people who are doing it are not making stupid decisions because they would never put themselves in a position where they would not be okay financially, because I think everyone that I've seen who's quit their jobs, I know are literally going to be plenty fine without their 9 to 5. And you guys have to understand, and like I have to understand as a viewer of their channel too, that they are going to do what's best for them because it is their life at the end of the day and not any of ours. You know, you may not agree with someone quitting their job because it makes them less relatable and you're not going to enjoy their content as much anymore, but they don't make their content for you specifically. You know, like, yes, they make it for their subscribers as a whole, but they also do it because it's something they enjoy doing. And I just think a lot of people are reluctant and hesitant to, you know, pay attention to the fact that, you know, the working industry is changing. I personally could never just do YouTube full-time and just do podcasting full-time. I would have to be doing some kind of freelance work, whether it was, you know, like graphic design or, you know, gosh, I don't know, mentoring or something like that, or just writing a book or speaking. I'd have to be doing something else because doing YouTube full-time is actually so boring because you have no content to create unless like you are literally in a completely different niche that's not lifestyle, I feel like. And that's my opinion. I'm very happy for everyone that's been able to have the means to quit and everything. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit closer. I straight up have a lot of fear, stress, anxiety, all of that whenever I think about my future, because I know that I have a podcast, I know that I have a YouTube channel, and both of those are things that I want to continue doing. I also know that I have a dog. I also know that I want to have a social life with friends, and I also know I have a relationship that I have to, you know, like actually work in order for it to be good. It stresses me out a lot, like seeing all of these YouTubers quit their full-time jobs because they couldn't do it all, because I mean, straight up it's doing 2 full-time jobs, which just does not make sense. So thinking about that and how I'm supposed to even try to balance it when all these people are proving that it's not possible, I'm sitting here being like, oh yeah, like I'll be able to do it, but I just like don't think, I don't know, it just stresses me out seeing it because I don't know how I'm supposed to be able to do it when I have like the same situation as everyone else. A lot of people are asking about me getting married and engaged and when that's gonna happen. Griff and I have like talked about getting engaged, getting married and all of that, but I personally don't really want to be engaged or talking about marriage until like the phase of my life of school is over, just because I feel like that'd be just crazy to like have to deal with all that at once. And I just kind of want to be in a place where like I have a job and things are a little bit more settled down after post-grad life. Like once I'm done with all of my school, I think that would be like the ideal time, because then I could like actually put time and energy into planning a wedding and that kind of stuff. I have a lot of people asking why I'm not just planning on working full-time instead right after school and planning on going to grad school. But the thing is I am not 100% sold on going to grad school. Like I applied and everything just in case, but I really wanted to have my master's because I think down the road after getting some work experience, my like dream job would to be like be a professor if that's how my life plays out. But I mean like not going straight into a full-time job isn't necessarily off the table, but I just like think going ahead and getting the master's over with now when I could potentially like get half of it paid for is better than having to do it while working full-time, because I just don't think I'd be able to like balance doing both at all on top of everything else going on. Just use the Burt's Bees blush in the shade, I think it's like peach or cinnamon or something like that. I have questions about what kind of career I'm interested in after graduation, which a lot of people, I mean like my internship is a Big 4 accounting internship in tax, and you know I'm honestly interested in a lot of different stuff. Like I have so many different interests and passions, and settling with one of them just doesn't really sound right or fun. Like I just feel like there's a lot out there that I could do, and I feel like I am like keeping a very open mind, and I'm going in with like pretty much no high hopes or expectations for my internship, because I don't want to like have like a really high bar set and then pretty much it never meet my expectations. But I genuinely feel like it's like public accounting will just be a very temporary thing for me, and I think that I really like one day I really want to write a book. I love to like travel around and speak to people. I love helping people. I love the idea of being like a teacher or professor. I also really like graphic design type of stuff. There's just so much out there, and I don't know what I will end up doing long term. So it's really hard to think about like my long-term career, because a lot of people are asking like, where do you think you'll be in 5 or 10 years? And I think in 5 years I'll be 26, so hopefully like married and about to have my first kid, close to having that. I think I want to have a kid by the time I'm 30 probably. So that's kind of just like what I think, and then also hopefully having like a career established and being happy and living somewhere that I like a lot. I just used the Ofra Star Island highlighter. So good. I love it. Okay, so my camera has just kept on dying. I went ahead and finished getting ready. So I put on my lips. I'll have everything I use on my lips linked down below, and I did my Morphe setting spray. But I used this Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme for the first time. Can you guys tell a difference? I don't know. I put it on top of just a Maybelline lipstick, and it burns so bad. It's not like unbearable, but at first it was very uncomfortable. But I'm just gonna go ahead and finish answering some questions because I'm losing daylight here, and I chose to film this at a terrible time of day and with an uncharged camera. So I had high hopes for this Q&A, and now they're just going down the drain. What is the thing you will miss the most about Bama when you graduate? So I think what I'll miss most is just like the college lifestyle, like just having so much free time compared to like whenever you're working a job. I mean, I really don't have that much free time personally, but like obviously it's the most I'm ever gonna have in my life. I'm just gonna miss like the structure and like the overall schedule of just like going to class for some of the day, working for some of the day. What are you most scared about post-grad? I'm honestly most scared about just like being happy and time management, because like I said earlier about the whole YouTube thing, I have seen so many people try and they just run themselves to the ground working 2 full-time jobs. And that's another thing, like people get so upset when YouTubers quit their full-time jobs, but if they're making more money doing YouTube than what they're doing at their job, why would they stay doing something that they don't like doing as much, making less money? But my thing is, I feel like it's going to be kind of equal the amount of money I'm making with both, and I want to have the structure of a full-time job. I want to have the structure of a 9 to 5. I just don't really know if what I'm going to be doing right out of college is exactly what I want to do. I think that I would really thrive somewhere where I could work from home, like doing something in graphic design. I don't know why I'm like all of a sudden like super into graphic design. I think it's so fun and interesting. And I don't know if I'd enjoy it as a career, but like if I was able to work from home like 3 days a week, 2 days a week, honestly, not even 3, 2 days a week, and then work in the office 3 days a week, you know what, I'd be solid. I could do it. Because I would save a lot of commute time and everything, and I wouldn't have to like get ready. But that would be ideal. I just personally, I'm so scared about being happy, because I know that when I get a lot on my plate and I get really stressed and overwhelmed, when I can't give my all to a bunch of different areas, I end up crumbling, my relationships and friendships end up crumbling, and I just really don't want that to happen. And it's really hard watching people say there's not enough time in a day, and a lot of people saying you can't do both in front of my eyes, when that's the path I'm set to go on. Does that make sense? I'm not saying I'm gonna quit my full-time job right out of the gate. I'm going to try it, and I don't think that I'm gonna like quit my full-time job to do YouTube and be self-employed full-time. That's not me. I will, if I quit my job, it will be to do a different job. Does that make sense? Besides YouTube, because like I said, I can't do it. There's not enough structure. I wouldn't have any content, and that's just not me. Are you planning on moving back to Florida one day after grad school, or Houston, or staying in Bama? Definitely not staying in Alabama. No. I'm not planning on going back to Florida. There's just nothing in my hometown. I'm from Panama City Beach, whatever. And I live on the beach side of town, but I went to high school in Panama City. And there is nothing here for recent college graduates, unless you really want to struggle with paying your bills, because the cost of living here is so high and entry-level jobs here are so low, like the lowest end of the spectrum in the state. I feel like for like news anchors and police and teachers, education, everything is on the lower end of the scale for the whole state of Florida, and the cost of living is one of the highest areas. So it's just not ideal, and there's not any like really opportunities for me and my major and my career personally here, so that's why I wouldn't come back here. Advice for someone who didn't get into school and how to get past it. So I know that rejection is really hard no matter what area of life it's coming from, if it's a relationship, friendship, job, just any opportunity for anything really. Rejection is really hard, but I think the most important thing to remember at the end of the day is if you tried your best, that is literally all that matters. And that just means it straight up was not meant for you. Like, that is not in the cards for you. That is not in God's plan for you. And you were meant to be doing something else. I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. And I know that's super cliche, but I think clinging on to that and not letting it pull you down throughout the future, and while you know, maybe look for other schools to go to, if you're so focused on one that didn't work out, you're going to be blind to the one that could work out. Does that make sense? It's really important to just remember that everything happens for a reason, to keep your options open and just always make sure that you are trying your best, and that's all that matters. Do you ever compare your college experience to others off what you see on social media? Yes. Sometimes like I actually don't compare myself to other people that much. I used to all the time in high school, and that like literally destroyed me and my happiness. And I did in the beginning of college too, when I was really alone. You know, I'd see everyone in there with all their like sorority sisters, and they'd just be like posting these pictures together, and I was just like, dude, this is like really tough to see. And you know, I don't have like a big like group chat with all my like sorority sisters and best friends. Like my best friends are completely different people, like completely different. None of us are really like all that similar. I mean, we can hang out as a group, but we never really have, just because I have friends from different areas as opposed to one big friend group. But I kind of like it that way because it's like no drama, you know what I mean? And I think it's really easy to just like look at Instagram and like see, you know, or Snapchat or whatever, and see all these people going out all the time together and like having people to go out with, you know, like I didn't really have that, and it's okay. And I think that the most important thing to remember at the end of the day is that like your experience does not have to be the same as someone else's. And it took me a long time to realize that like just because I wasn't in a sorority and I wasn't getting all these positions that I wanted to my freshman year, and just because I didn't have, you know, an established friend group my freshman year, that didn't mean I was having any less of a college experience. And everyone's college experience is unique to themselves, and it is what they want to make of it. Like your college experience does not have to be defined within the limits of partying, having a big friend group, and XYZ, I don't know. That's not what it has to be about. How do you overcome constantly feeling like you don't know what your purpose is yet? So I'm just gonna say, listen to my very first podcast episode about finding your purpose. I've had a lot of people message me and say it was helpful, and I really spent a lot of time planning it, so I do genuinely think it has really good tangible tips. That's like a really overwhelming feeling, and I think that, you know, like not keeping your mind open is really important whenever you're trying to find your purpose, and not like pigeonholing yourself to like one specific thing that you think is made for you, because once again, you'll become blind to the things that are around you that could be better possibilities and opportunities. First YouTuber you consistently watch. So I think it was either Kathleen Lights or Janine Amapola. Those were, and I found them by looking for a naked palette tutorial whenever I was 15 or 14 I think. Literally insane. And that's all I'm gonna do for this video, because A, the sun is pretty much down, and B, I'm running out of battery again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in tomorrow's Vlogmas. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'm gonna spend today just like responding to comments, and if you just want to know anything, ask me down below and I'll answer. And be sure to follow me on social media if you aren't already, and subscribe if you aren't already as well, and I will see you guys tomorrow.